Middlesex Business and Residents Association for Saturday, September 12, 2009, from 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. The event is the Bruin Barbecue Festival to be held on Jackson Street, adjacent to the early parking garage. Also, Karen Bell, as president of the Jackson Appleton Business Association, again for Saturday, September 12th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. This event is a micro beer tasting within the festival grounds on Jackson Street, again adjacent to the early parking garage.
Okay, introduce yourself for the record, please.
I'm here as the president of JAMBRA, Jackson Appleton Middlesex Business and Residents Association.
Okay. How did you folks make out over the folk
Jamboree?
festival?
Well, we didn't do the folk festival.
You didn't?
We did, Corey Belanger did one, the Uptown Festival following the folk festival.
Okay.
And that went extremely well.
It went very well.
Yeah, extremely well.
Okay.
I think they had somewhere around 500 people.
Really?
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah.
Very good.
And no complaints.
And no complaints. Now, this is
It's even better.
This in the parking lot. Tell me exactly where this is going to be.
If you go down Jackson Street from Central,
Right.
you will pass by Major's Pub
Right.
on your left. Then there is a parking lot which belongs to Loft 27, followed by a small strip of land owned by the city of Lowell,
Right.
which is gated and locked, followed by the electric company, and then you come to the garage.
Okay.
We are just beyond the street that enters the garage, so that street is not blocked off in any way that's going to affect emergency or residents or anything in any other way. So we are exactly on the street itself, right next to the garage.
Okay.
And we have a very good relationship with the garage and Chuck Carney and so on. And
Okay.
we will maintain Marston Street open, which is just after the
Okay.
garage, and the unnamed street before the garage.
All right. And you're going to fence this in, or how are we going to?
We will be putting a secure area for the beer tasting, so that people under 21 cannot
Okay.
get in or in and out. And we can run fencing across from the CMA, the old CMAA building that is now owned by the Architectural Heritage, to the garage.
Okay.
I don't know if that would be necessary or desirable, because part of what we are doing is we are hoping to bring in other food and farm, an open-air farm type of market as
Great.
well.
Now, is that going to be in no, this is going to be on Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay. Is the farmers market open here at City Hall on Saturday? I don't
No,
think
they
so. No.
close. They close the week
yeah.
before, so we're
No.
hoping
That's a great idea.
that
No, that's
they
a
have
great
some
idea. Yep.
leftovers.
Yep. Great idea. And, you know, certainly you've been involved enough to know. But I think, is this the first time you're going to get a liquor license in your name?
I believe so. Usually,
Okay. Well, then
I
you're
deal with Tom.
As my fellow commissioners would say, then you are subject to my tirade.
I am.
Okay. Karen,
I'm a
you gotta
pretty strong
understand-
person, so.
Okay. You got to understand. Oh, look at it. This guy sits down. That's when it's dangerous.
I said,
You got to understand this is your license.
Yes.
Okay? Nobody else's. Don't
Yes.
belong to the Jackson Appleton Middlesex. Belongs to you. Okay?
Yes.
You own a business, so you know I don't know, what your insurance things are, but I always say to people, a lot of times if you're running an event like that, especially if you're in business, you make a phone call, say, I'd like to get a one-day rider.
thank you, that's a very good idea.
And make the association pay for it.
Yes,
Here's a one-day, because you know what? People pull up.
yeah,
They say, oh God, they get $4.50 for a beer in there. Let's knock down a half a dozen before we walk in. And then, of course, what happens is they get in trouble, and somebody says, well, where were you drinking? Oh, man, I was at the Spinners game. Well, as hard as they would try, they probably couldn't even find them, but that's unfortunate. And if you don't believe that that happens, I can I won't do it on television, but I will tell you, I can give you the names of probably 4 or 5 restaurants right in the Lowell area that you can go around on a Saturday morning. I'm sure the police officer can tell you. And you'll see beer bottles in the parking lot. And most of the time, it's not even beer the restaurant sells.
Right.
It's people that pull in and have a couple of beers before they go in the restaurant. But you know what? Ultimately, the restaurant's going to be held liable. And so, we try to establish a policy to make sure that folks understand. We don't want anybody ever to come back and say, gee, you didn't tell me. I didn't realize, So, we don't do it to scare you. Honestly, we don't.
Point well taken.
If you know what you're doing and you run a tight ship and you get the people that are involved in the actual serving of the alcohol, and you understand that you are entrusting them with your future, and say to them, look, if something goes wrong, it's going to be me. And you give that lady a glass of wine, and she gives it to her 20-year-old daughter, and the daughter falls down. It's got to be your fault. It couldn't possibly be the mother's fault.
Not ever.
It's got to be your fault. And so this is why we try to make sure folks understand that. But again, I go back to, you've done a lot for this community, and I commend you for it.
Thank you.
I think that it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. Anything we can do to bring people out, to have them enjoy their own city, is certainly a wonderful idea. And, I wish you the best for it.
Thank you.
Ray?
I won't even follow on that other than to wish you well and make the motion to go ahead and grant those licenses.
Thank you.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And
Commission will now take up matters to do with special events permit for amplified outdoor public entertainment.
no, you guys said we're gonna call you again. You've got a license for outdoor. Yeah. You've also got a license for outdoor sound. So, okay.
Commission will review the matter of an application for amplification, Prima Negathan of the Enterprise Bank for Thursday, August 27th, with a rain date request of Friday, August 28th, 2009, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The event is the Customer Appreciation Cookout outside the office of the Enterprise Bank at the corner of Merrimack and Shattuck Streets. There'll be a disc jockey with the sound system. Also, Karen Bell, also president of the Jackson Appleton Middlesex Business Residents Association, for Saturday, September 12th, 4 p.m. to 12 midnight. There'll be bands with the sound system, again at the festival on Jackson Street.
Okay, introduce yourself for the record, please.
Prima Nagathan from Enterprise Bank.
Okay,
Mark Watson, Enterprise Bank.
okay,
Karen Bell, Jambra.
all right. An amplified outdoor sound. Well, I think, first of all, Karen, the name of your organization says it. The key word in your organization is residents.
Yes.
Okay? I don't need to say it anymore. As far as the bank is concerned, you're going until 9 o'clock?
No.
No. Wait a
It's
minute.
just going to be 11 to 2 p.m.
Oh, to 2 o'clock. Whoa. Yeah. Hey. Okay. All right. What's on the menu? That's what we want to know, because this guy's always looking for
We'll be
free
grilling
food.
hot dogs and hamburgers.
There you
and
go.
you're
How can you
welcome
go
to
wrong,
join
Ray?
us.
I'll make a motion to grant the license.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay?
Thank you.
Commission will now take up matters to do with public amusement for a show, the Quilt Festival at the New England Quilt Museum, to be held at the Songus Arena Thursday, August 6th, Friday, August 7th, Saturday, August 8th. Paige Shaler of the arena is here, representative. And also the concert for the Barbecue Festival on Jackson Street. Karen Bell, president of Jambra. That's Saturday, September 12th, 4 p.m. to 12 midnight.
Okay. Karen, you're up for this one too? You probably could have sent these ahead, you know? Introduce yourself for the record, please.
Paige Schaller, event manager at the Songus Arena.
Okay.
Karen Bell, Jambra.
Okay. Both of them sound like wild and crazy times, so I don't see that there's going to be any problem. Those quilters can get out of hand, though. They are, you know.
We do have
Well.
a police officer there.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
I'll second.
All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Have you seen enough of me?
I think.
Take care.
We hope you have more functions and come back more often.
I
There you
will.
go.
I'll be back in a couple weeks.
Excellent.
Okay. Yep.
Commission will now take up the matter of a hearing on the application by Dharma Buns LLC, doing business as Dharma Buns Sandwich Company. John J. Caprioli is the manager. For malt beverage and wine restaurant license for premises at 26A Market Street, one unnumbered door on the south side, first floor, one room for dining, kitchen, two storage rooms. There'll be an office. The applicant was to notify abutters and any church, school, or hospital within 500 feet. It is also requested that Mr. Caprioli be the manager of record for Dharma Buns LLC, with minor license applications filed for common vitler, entertainment and a licensed restaurant for live music, disc jockey, and jukebox, and also for automatic amusement device.
Introduce yourself for the record, please.
John J. Caprioli.
Okay, John. Tell me a little bit about your store.
We're going to be a restaurant
You're going to be a restaurant.
on Market Street.
Okay, have you been there? Are you already open?
No, we haven't
No,
opened
you haven't
yet.
opened yet.
No, we're still under construction.
Okay. Have you ever operated a restaurant where they served alcohol before?
I've managed one. I haven't owned one, no.
You met where?
Prior to my self-employment, I used to manage Papagino's, which we did beer and wine there. That was in Methuen.
Okay. Where?
In Methuen and
Methuen?
Salem,
Okay.
New Hampshire.
Tell me you weren't fired.
No.
You quit. Okay.
No, I started my own business after
Kind
that.
of good, you know? Just
Yeah.
all right.
I've been self-employed for the past 25 years. I own
Doing
also-
what?
I own Creative Buffets Catering in Lawrence.
Oh, okay. Do you serve alcohol and?
The only times we ever do is we apply occasionally for one-day permits for different locations, but no, we are not licensed alcohol vendors. We just
Okay.
it's a little bit different with catering to be doing that all the time, because a lot of times we're going to venues where they already have it.
Okay.
But I've done my share of bartending and serving alcohol over the years.
Have you ever taken a tips course?
No, but I've had many people that have worked for me that have had it.
They have.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's fairly
I understand
simple.
this is going to be you and your son.
Yes, he's here.
Okay. Is this your son here?
Yes.
All right. Could you introduce yourself?
Alexander John Caprioli.
Okay. Being a public hearing, why don't you allow me, and we'll say, anybody here that wants to speak in opposition? And, yes, stand up and step back if you would, please. Let these folks stand up. Sure. State your name and...
My name is Dane Lamb. I live at 30 Market Street. I directly abut the building in which Dharma Buns proposes serving beer and wine. In what I understand is something of a cafeteria-style facility with hours that run to 10:30 Monday through Wednesday, to 12:30 a.m. on Thursday, and to 1:30 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, at least for their delivery hours. I can't tell you how strongly opposed I am to this liquor license. It will be the 6th liquor license within 2 blocks on Market Street. It abuts Centro, a wonderful restaurant, full-service restaurant with beer and wine and other. It's across the street from what I believe is now called the Simba Lounge, which has its own issues. It's across the street and down the block from the Blue Shamrock, which may or may not be represented here today. Also, down the street is the Dubliner, which has been a problematic establishment with, from the point of view of a resident, a lack of clarity on the powers and prerogatives of the licensing board to enforce good behavior. And then further down the street and exhibiting good behavior is the Athenian Corner. So I can see no logical reason that we need to add a 6th liquor license in this stretch of Market Street, which has turned, as you all have noticed over the last probably 10, 7, 5 years, from essentially a non-residential area or an area of subsidized residences, which are terrific, but not people who bought in and were perhaps sadly more subject to the vagaries of the, I don't want to say business community because I'm both a business person and a capitalist, but you know, it now has a lot of reconverted mills that people have bought into expecting a nice balance of downtown activity and residential comforts. I moved from Beacon Hill in Boston, which has a number of liquor licenses. In Boston, the process is very clear. There are not a lot of licenses. It's very difficult to get one, and the community, the local neighborhood, can actually impose conditions. If I understand Lowell correctly, and I hope you can correct any misunderstanding I have, once you grant this license, we are essentially powerless except to the extent that you can enforce good behavior standards. But as I said, there's certainly been questions about the Dubliner. There are big questions about El Rincon, which is behind our building, but doesn't happen to be on Market Street. And if you want noise at night, come to our place on a Friday night and see whether anybody listens to what the good advice you give applicants. So I want to state again, I am entirely opposed to this liquor license. I think the hours of operation are absurd. I have no understanding of why live music is needed in a cafeteria-style sandwich restaurant. And so I think you're going to experience, to make any money, some mission creep on the part of the owners. And I'd like you to inform us what we can do should you grant this license, to which I am entirely opposed, to help enforce good standards of behavior. But I don't think this license should be granted. Thank you very much for hearing me.
Thank you. Next.
My name is Gardner Stratton, also from 30 Market Street and a butter. I am also speaking in opposition to the license. I'd like to just echo the previous speakers. We have more than enough liquor licenses in the neighborhood. And we suffer the trash and the disruption and frankly several broken windows in the last year from people leaving these establishments having had too much to drink. I also don't see how a sandwich shop needs a liquor license. I think if that's the only way that business can work, then it's a bad business model. I would recommend that they come back in a year after proving that they can be good neighbors to try and expand into the liquor, at which point I could have a different opinion. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
My name is Suzanne Roberts.
Pull the mic down, ma'am.
And I'm nervous.
That's
I'm
all right.
not against people in general. I like people. I live at Trio or Market Street, 30 Market Street, Unit 2, facing my bedroom on the Canal Walk. I came, and I love Lowell, but I have just turned and had a copy from the police department for the noise already from El Rincon, 16 pages of my complaints. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I want to know, we're also getting the smell of cooking into our Trio units already from Centrals. So how is this smell not going, you cook onions, it's got to go somewhere. In our unit, what's absorbing it? Where does the recycling happen? Where does the garbage get disposed? What clientele is going to be coming there and they buy the six-pack and they can go because it's pickup? Who do they pass it out to on the way, let's say? We've got a problem with young kids around there. Parking, we have a problem with parking. Already we only have one spot for us on our side, and there's one spot for the building where Dharma is. And there's a towing that we can do, but it's constant where people are trying to get to the post office or going to run into the convenience store that is also right next to our Trio. What about grease? How do you dispose of it? There are rules where I came from in Connecticut, a grease pit or whatever. All of those things are issues to me, environment or bugs or whatever, from cooking. And so I have real concerns having bought this unit. And maybe it's valid, maybe it isn't, but I feel it's valid. So thank you for the ability to give you my concerns.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
I like the people. It has nothing to do with them.
Thank you. Anybody else in opposition? In opposition, that portion of the hearing is closed. Anyone to speak in favor? In favor? In favor. That portion of the hearing's closed. The public portion of the hearing is closed. Okay.
I'm just going to interject.
Go.
And I want to raise this issue for the law
Sure.
department as well. I'm going through the list of abutters that were notified, and at least two of them clearly have incorrect addresses on file. 30 Market Street, Unit 1, Fort Worth, Texas, and 30 Market Street, Unit 3, Greensboro, North Carolina. And I know at least one of those is listed here as having been returned as undeliverable. So I'm not sure that we necessarily have notification to abutters. Am I wrong on that?
Well, I don't have the documents in front of me, but if they're not sent to the proper addresses, it would be...
We could send that over to them, and I think we've got one here. The addresses are the ones that were provided by the city, but it's just, they seem to have the wrong towns. And those were the addresses that the certified mail receipts were
Was sent to.
Well, it would seem, yeah, that if this was provided by the city, this isn't the applicant's fault. The question now is, what do you do? You know, it appears that unless the owner of 30 Market Street, Unit 1, actually has the exact same street address in Fort Worth, Texas, it's an incorrect address. Same with whatever the second one.
Unit 3.
Unit 3 in Greensboro, North Carolina.
I mean, it would be somewhat serendipitous were they to have identical addresses just in multiple towns.
It is
Do you have a condo association in the building? Did you, by any chance, have any meetings where you discussed this issue?
No, the notices.
You folks are the only two that are, three rather, you folks are the only three out of the group that...
No, most people work during the day.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, you never discussed it at a meeting?
No.
No, okay.
We don't.
I mean, the notice came within, I think, the last week, maybe the last 7 days. I
Yeah.
think we had to drive to the post
But that's required by law. There's a certain time frame that you have to do it. Okay. Do you see, is everything all set as far as the police department?
Mr. Commissioner, as far as the police department goes, we certainly have no objection to it. There'd be no law enforcement reason to deny the license.
Okay.
I mean, again, the only question is this
Well, I mean,
adequate
you got all of those, you got all these tickets, and you got two people that the city gave them the wrong address. I don't think you can hold these people responsible for that. There's certainly, I've been through this so many times. I'm just going to say it the way it is. I know some people don't like it, but I'm going to say it. If it was my condo and I cared, I don't care if I had a chance to make triple time and a half. I'd have my Fanny down at that meeting talking to let them know how I felt about it. It's that simple. It's that simple. All these cards came back. All these people know there's this meeting here. Okay? And I can sympathize with this lady because she has every right. If you're getting smell from the food in that restaurant, you call the Board of Health. There's a woman works in the mayor's office, Diane. Is it Diane?
Yes.
Yeah. Diane, you call her with any question about it, she'll tell you what department to call and who to speak to. If you're getting the odor from a restaurant in, that's not these people's fault. That's not these people's fault. That's the people's fault that are there right now. And hopefully, you're going to get it. If you're worried about where the grease is going to go or where the garbage is going to go, you call the health department. And you tell them, you find out they have to have a license to have a dumpster, and it has to be regulated and put in the right place, and they have to be cleaned. And the Board of Health, and I'm not saying that these are going to the best people in the world or not the best people in the world. Number one, we have to remember that the founding fathers of the city made Lowell a business. Downtown is a business area. It has been a wonderful transformation from business to a lot of residents, and I commend you folks completely. There are things in place for you to take steps. Ma'am, it's a phone call. If I've got $175,000 invested in a condo, you can bet your bippy I can make a phone call. And I can get the name of the person I spoke to. If you can write 18 pages of complaints to the police department, did you ever ask the name of the officer you spoke to? Did you ever write it down, I called on such and such a day? Good. And nothing's ever happened? Come up here, ma'am. Come up here. No,
I just ask
the 18 pages. Come up here.
Anybody who's speaking, please use the microphone.
Yeah, use the mic. Says this.
Because
all
otherwise
I'm
the
saying
record doesn't
is,
get
it's real easy
recorded.
to sit there and say, they don't do anything. They
The
will.
police do. They come and
Okay.
they can speak to the group. That we had a meeting, the
Yeah.
association did, with the Park Service, because the Canal Walk is right next to our building.
Okay.
We had the police represented there, and someone from Congress, or not Congress, but a representative from the state. And we had, who else? Well, the residents. And they can't change the Canal Walk at this point except incrementally with signage, that's it. The police can't do
Okay,
anything.
may I ask
about
you a
it.
question?
And so we're told to wait.
I want to ask you a question, ma'am.
Yes.
When you bought your condo, was the Canal Walk there?
Yes, but I didn't know the bar was there, and it's not even marked El Rincon like a bar. You can't, it's very, and it was hard to get the address, the whole bit. So that was kind of a big surprise for me. I lived in Connecticut, so I didn't have, I'm sorry, I'm new at this. So
That's why I'm trying to tell you.
It was a rude awakening
we
that
have-
there wouldn't be a noise ordinance.
We have a new sheriff in town, okay? Okay, we have a new sheriff in town. If you don't get a satisfaction from the police when you call, I am absolutely sure that the chief would be honored to meet with you and to discuss your complaints. Okay? This is what we want people to do. We don't want you coming in here. And the only reason why I say that is because you've got a viewing audience that says, you just said the police do come. It's important that people know that. The police come in, at least they're trying to do something. A consistent pattern of problems listen, you file a complaint with this board, they've got a license, just like these folks just came in to amplified sound. If we get enough complaints, guess what? They're not going to be able to play amplified music. It's that simple.
It's not amplified. They open the door, it's inside.
It
They open the
doesn't-
building, it's on the patio.
Ma'am, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but the police said they couldn't do anything. So you're telling me one thing and they're saying something else, that there's no noise ordinance.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I guess I'm
No,
taking it
I'm just
back
saying
because-
that if it was, the situation is that there are things available to you. There are things available to you, okay? Again, I go back to the mayor's office, our mayor,
I know
Bud
Bud
Caulfield.
Caulfield.
He's,
So,
you know, he and the city councilors are the champions of the people down here. They are the champions of the people. A phone call to them and they will respond. And believe me, if this comes forward to us, we will respond. You know, it's easy to say,
I'll
well,
send you the letter then that I've already sent about the breakage of the windows.
Yeah.
And the skateboarders and the damage on the walk, the noise that I call Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and can't sleep till 2 or later, the fuck you pounding on our windows as they go by.
Yeah.
And I'm sleeping there,
Yeah.
and it's like, so we have an aggressive clientele that uses that walk, and we cannot close it. It's only a short path. But so now the front of this, having all these bars on here, you've got the front and the back. And I guess I didn't do my homework, and I'm sorry, I feel really,
but you shouldn't have to live like that, man.
well, we'll see what,
Ma'am,
Okay.
if I could offer, if you do have the noise complaints regarding any licensed establishment, and those have been turned over to the police, we do take a look at those. We did have a couple that was in here not too long ago that had a noise complaint from a licensed establishment with sound coming up out of the establishment into their apartments, and we did take steps on that. So if you're bringing that to our attention, we'll be more than happy to look at it. We do apologize. The odors of the food that's out of our hands, that falls under the Board of Health, and what goes on the Canal Walk does fall under a federal park. But if there's something that's going on inside of a licensed establishment, we would be more than happy to review it. So if you did turn those in, we'd like to see them.
I mean, this is the first time we've heard of any of this. Nobody said a thing to us about, and it's easy to throw stones and say, they had problems at this place and you guys didn't do anything. Let me tell you something, okay? We don't rush to judgment. If that place, whatever place you're thinking of, whatever they did was that bad, they would have been closed. They would have been convicted in a court of law, okay? Which would have then superseded anything that we would have done anyways. We try to work with people to make people to understand they can create a downtown environment that people can enjoy. Certainly, were you home this weekend at the Folk Festival? I worked. You were or weren't?
She worked.
I work.
Oh, you worked. Okay. Downtown was packed with people, absolutely packed. I thought they did a remarkable job. I only had one beef. They should have put a sign on Market Street saying, if you take a left here, you end up in the garage. There's no place to go. But that was interesting coming down. But I had come down and kind of went around and, as an outside observer to it, I thought they did a remarkable job handling it. I think it brought a lot to the city. I think people that are trying to invest in the city, much as you invested in a condo, there are other people trying to invest in the city to create a business, to hopefully maybe, I understand your concern about it. I know that, Centros is right next door, and they have a full liquor license. This is a beer and wine license. Are you going to come up to the, is this for beverages to be consumed on premises?
Yes.
You're not going to be allowing people to buy a six-pack and walk out the door?
Absolutely not.
There's no like package store sales?
No.
Strictly, if they wanted a sandwich, they can
have
sit in the dining room, have a sandwich or a glass of wine or...
I'm hearing a lot of their concerns, and it's new to me also, because, I rented the storefront with good faith. And, yeah, I haven't been around on a Friday night at 2 in the morning to see that. But that's not really a good thing. But I understand what they're saying.
Oh, I do too.
And I also understand, I hate to say, you sort of made my argument for me, the fact that, the Central and the Athenian, which are already on the street, are restaurants, and you seem
And they're
to
good
have
neighbors.
no problem. And I want to be clear that we're not a bar in any way, shape, or form. There's no sitting down, there's no bar area. I cannot picture for the life of me anybody ever coming into our establishment just to drink. The hours of operation are from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We wanted to stay open till 1 and 2 Thursday, 2 on Friday and Saturday.
2 a.m., am I correct?
Yes.
2 a.m.
And the reason I wanted to do that, and I'll give you the reason why, was because a year ago, when I was in Lowell, I had gone to a show at Boarding House Park, and we got out probably around 11:30, 12, and there was literally no place in downtown Lowell to eat, because it's all bars, and they all stopped serving food. And I says, I cannot believe there is no place in this area after midnight to eat. And one of the main concerns as we did our little semi-survey of the area, people were saying, I hope you're going to be staying open late, because there's plenty of places to drink, but there's no place to eat.
Will you be willing to stop serving at midnight, but continue to serve food until 2 a.m. to serve that need that you've seen?
I don't think that would be a problem. We've changed the takeout hours. What I was going to propose was, even though we stop serving food at 2, was to stop serving beer and wine at 1:30, to go back 30 minutes.
Try to ask everyone at minimum. But I think what and again, if we grant this license, that's going to be a voluntary thing on your part.
I
because
understand it's voluntary, but
we're not going to roll
I
it.
really don't want people,
One of the things you've got
after
to
a
think
certain
about.
point, doing that.
One of the things you've got to think about.
Okay.
It always has been a concern in the city of Lowell that shows and things get out,
Yes.
and none of the restaurants are open for people to go out to eat.
Right.
That being said, if they've been out at a bar drinking all evening,
That could happen.
and then they go to your
Absolutely.
place and they order a sandwich and a beer, guess who's in trouble?
Right.
Okay? So this is what I'm trying to tell the lady, Karen Bell, and then before
Previously.
you. It's not necessarily what you served. It's necessarily what you're liable for.
And believe
you're
me,
liable for.
With my experience, I have no
A
problem
lot of places
turning somebody down.
close the door at 1 o'clock and nobody comes in after 1 and they have their last call. That's so that a guy that's been drinking in another place doesn't come walking in. Okay, that being said, and I understand these people's concern, I truly do.
absolutely.
It'd drive me nuts if I was there, but I preface my remarks by, they gotta work. Gee, isn't that a shame? We all gotta work, okay?
No.
We all gotta work. But if it's something that's gonna affect my major investment in my entire life and the quality of my family's life, I'm gonna be there for it.
Right.
And I can't even imagine trying to give it some thought if I went to some boss and said, look, they're going to have a hearing Thursday afternoon about a bar that's opening up right next door to me, and I'm really, can I get some time to run out to go to the meeting? I'm just sure that they could. It would have seemed to me that the condo association should get together, and I might want to throw that to you for what it's worth. Again, we can't force you to do it, but, one of the things that you might want to look at to try, and this is what happens
Well,
in
we
these
have
cases.
talked to some of the other people.
You
that
need
have
to get
condos.
everybody together. You need to get everybody in the association together and say, can we all sit down and talk? And I want to tell you what I'm doing, and this is my phone number, and this is my cell number, and if something's going wrong, you can call me. Call me before you call the police. I'll take care of it. I'll straighten it out. And give them the opportunity, give your co-owners the opportunity to protect their quality of life and to have a direct feed with you. We have people come in all the time. They have absolutely no idea who owns the restaurant or where, you're all in the same building. You're all in the same building. How the heck don't you know, you don't see each other or whatever. So that's just a thought or idea. We don't mandate you do it, but you got to be a good neighbor.
if you remember, I was here a few weeks ago. We set up a basically information table outside for the Folk Fest.
Yeah.
So it was just a table that we handed out menus and got emails, and some of the neighbors, not all, because not all of them were around.
Yeah.
But I know of 3 in particular that came and they took a menu, they signed our little email book.
Yeah.
So they,
Which is
you know,
great.
they had questions.
But if you know, I mean, I don't know if they have monthly meetings or weekly, whatever they do, but
I don't know.
But if you found that out and you said to them, look, could I come to your next meeting, and give them enough time to notify all the owners, at least then you have an opportunity to talk and to speak to each other, and hopefully clear the air on any disagreements. It's got to be a give and take.
Yeah, it's like the live music thing. I mean, I only applied for that because we wanted to play literally the radio in the place. And I guess
That's not live music.
Well, according to the rule, they said I needed the license for that.
For live music?
I was
Does he
just
need
going to hook up like the Sirius satellite radio. I mean, if I don't need it, I'll save the $100, because...
Actually, you may want to talk to your lawyer before you hook up a Sirius radio and play it. You'll quickly find yourself on the end of a federal court lawsuit.
No, it's a commercial subscription.
Okay. Yeah, you'll still probably find, if you double-check that first.
Okay.
Okay.
Look, I'm going to say this. I live next to what I think is probably the best restaurant in the city of Lowell, and I've never had a problem living next door to them. The owner of that place is very cordial, gets out among everybody, knows everybody that lives in my condo development. I mean, we have a very good relationship. But I'm going to actually make a motion to punt the decision on this until those 2 abutters are notified. And my reason for that is I think I'm concerned that we have on the record that through no fault of your own, you were given an incorrect address, or what appears on its face to be an incorrect address. And I think that if this were to be approved, it would easily be challenged with a injunction in the Superior Court saying that the board knew that notification hadn't gone out to at least 2 parties, or had reason to believe that it hadn't. So I'm going to actually make a motion to punt the decision on this over until we can get some kind of clarification on those addresses and notice in accordance with the statute. So
Here's the interesting thing, and if you want to defer it for those 2 people, that's fine. You could also assume that those people would be consistent with the other speakers and speak against it, but technically speaking, the applicant did comply with the statute. The statute reads that you must send by registered mail to each of the persons appearing upon the assessor's most recent valuation list as the owners of the property abutting the premises. They did that through no fault of their own, for whatever reason, assuming these addresses are incorrect, and most likely they are incorrect. However, it was what the assessor's office gave him, and that they need to provide that a certified copy of the affidavit will be prima facie evidence that such notice has been mailed in accordance with the section. They did do that. They got these addresses, they mailed them, but for whatever reason, it would appear that 2 of the addresses are, again, this is strictly a guess, but they're probably wrong.
my guess is
Can I make a
they're
very quick comment, simply because we've been chastised for not showing up, those of us who couldn't come? I think you make a very good point. Some people in the building were not properly notified. Exactly, through no fault of the potential new owner of this, holder of this license. I think actually, just to be gracious, it might be a time for the punting to be caught by the owner of the facility, because I think having sat through the chastisement that enough people didn't carve time out of their day to do this, let's give everyone in the building that chance. And 2 of the owners, who I can assure you those are wrong addresses, but it's your problem to figure it out, let's assure that they're also notified and they have the chance either to show up or not at the next hearing when this comes up. So it'd be incredibly gracious if you'd allow us that time.
What you may wish to do is you could continue the hearing for a period of time rather than have a new hearing where all notice would have to be notified. You could keep it open.
Oh, yeah, no, I have no intention of like rehashing what we've already done. I think we've already done sufficient, but just for these 2 units, 1 and 3,
You could certainly, if you want to do that, you certainly can. I would just ask that you continue the hearing, and that it has been closed, but, I mean, technically, the public hearing was closed. However, you're raising this up that it would be solely for these two
Solely for these two
entities,
owners,
for
should they
those two
choose to
individuals.
come forward at the next meeting. Would that be sufficient time for you to send them a letter?
I'd just like to state for the record that when I got that list, I did mention to the assessor's office that these addresses were wrong. I mean, it was obvious that they were wrong. They were probably, I mean, maybe they lived in those areas at one time, and then who knows? And they says, doesn't make any difference, that's who you have to mail it to. And one of the persons, Alexander, that's on there, I did speak to during the Folk Fest, and I mentioned it to him, and he said, oh, he says, I don't know why they have me down for there, I've never lived there. I mean, I can't, I offered to hand-deliver them, but it's not legal. I knew they weren't there.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to go ahead and continue this for the next meeting so that we could mail it to those people that, let's send it, if we know that one of them is living in the building, let's send it to them at that address in the building.
I think they both are living
Okay.
there.
And, I mean, if there's and the city will probably have its own problem when it comes time to collecting taxes if they're sending the notices out to the wrong address.
Oh, I can assure you it'll be addressed later this afternoon.
I'm sure it will. And I'm actually willing to bet, based on it being those two particular towns, that's probably where the tax servicing company hired by the mortgage holders are located, which is probably what got merged over. That's my guess, if they were to look at it, just given the towns in question. But I'll make the motion.
No. No, he did everything by the law, by the book. He spent his own money. He's making an investment in our community. He did what he was supposed to do to the letter of the law. I think he has a genuine concern. He impresses me as he's more than willing to sit down with these people and talk to them. This was a public hearing. It was advertised in the newspaper. Besides being mailed out to all the abutters and everything, it was also, we do have a copy? It was in the paper, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. I can't do that. I can't do that to a businessman. Somebody's going to try to make an investment in our community, and we're going to sit there. And how many green cards did we get back?
I can answer it for you. There's 14 of them sent out. 4 of them happen to be the owner of the building, David Silverstein. He still has 4 of the 14 condos. Well, according to the assessor's office, he does. According to the assessor's office, 97 Central Street owns 2, his wife owns 1, and his partner owns a 4th one. It may have changed hands since then, but we have to go by what they have.
Again, see, that's the problem, and then we get into it, and then the next time it's not going to work, because, oh, wait a minute, that's not the right guy, they don't own it, so now, no, we're going to wait till we can get a hold of him. No, I thoroughly respect my fellow commissioners' motion, but I just feel myself that we've been around the block a few times, and you might feel I'm chastising. I'm on television right now, I say this because every condo association in the city of Lowell needs to know, when people start walking into a licensing meeting saying, the police don't do anything, we complain, the health department, they do, because I know, because I call them and talk to them at times. And they will, and just go back to, we've got some wonderful, wonderful city councilors and wonderful people in the police department, be more than willing, and it's just a matter of documentation and taking the time and trouble. So I can't second the motion. I make a motion that we grant the license.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. It's got to go down to Boston for approval.
Yes, I
So you know.
understand.
Okay. I strongly advise you to meet with your neighbors.
Yes, I fully intend to.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we have just two matters for hearing on August the 20th. Legal notices will be published in the local newspaper on August the 7th for hearing on August 20th. There is an application by Amani, I believe it's pronounced Amani, Inc., doing business as Quick Mart, Ushola Batel, President, 1401 Gorham Street. Application for a malt beverage and wine-only package goods store license. This is for 1401 Gorham Street. In addition, there is a transfer of the license for restaurant, all alcoholic beverages, to an entity known as Indian Restaurants LLC, DBA Priya Indian Cuisine, at 1270 Westford Street, unit number 10, and it would be an application for transfer from the corporation license for all alcoholic beverages restaurant, Kebab Inc., doing business as Kebab Indian Grill.
And they're both on the agenda for,
But it would be scheduled for the public hearing on August 20th,
Okay.
Thursday, August 20th.
all right. Anything else? No, one page. Okay, anything? No? Captain, anything?
Nothing from the police department, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Do you have anything on that scheduling thing that you sent out by email? Any word from the ABCC on that class? Are they going to do it here, or? I'm sorry, ABCC wanted to have...
Okay, Commissioner Weicker has bringing to our attention an email that I had received yesterday from the Alcohol Beverages Control Commission, a general inquiry with cities and towns in Massachusetts who might be willing to host a seminar that the ABCC would sponsor, in which they would schedule several of their officials to address issues on license law and license regulations. Approximately 2 years ago, the ABC came to the city of Lowell. We had an opportunity set up at the Songus Arena lobby. So it was just a general inquiry as to whether the city would want to offer its facility for someone from the ABC, someone like a legal counsel for the ABC or a commissioner of the ABC, to advise licensees and local communities the rules and regulations, do's and don'ts.
I think it'd be a great idea.
Yeah, I think it'd be an absolutely wonderful idea, and it would be, we'd be acting as kind of a regional.
Yeah.
So it
We
would
could,
be,
I'm sure that we could probably either get the auditorium, if they wanted to coordinate that. Tom McKay has always, made the auditorium available for any,
The only issue I thought of at the last time was the fact of parking.
Okay.
In which,
if you have a large turnout, the auditorium's not a very good,
particularly during the week, it's usually these
Traffic.
seminars are scheduled in the morning during the week, and with a college, Middlesex Community College is front and center on East Merrimack Street,
Okay.
right across the street. The parking issue might be somewhat problematic. One of the conveniences of the Songus Arena, I had ran this by the city manager's office several years ago, in which they agreed it would be a nice opportunity for the city to host. And utilizing the Songus Arena, and young lady that was just here earlier at the meeting was very kind and helpful in setting up for that event. And I could see if that would be feasible anytime.
Please.
Whatever the schedule might be for the ABC.
I
See
think
what
it'd
you
be
can do.
wonderful.
You're personally a committee of one, okay? You got nothing better to do. We're coming home, Benjamin. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.